Next question is from competitive LSC. Yo, Ego, do you think 2015 will be an amazing year for boxing to make up for 2014 being poor? I really hope so, man, because 2013 was a phenomenal year to me, and 2014 wasn't. It was a lackluster year to me, and it's kind of like a good movie, and then they ruin it with the piss poor sequel. That's how I felt. I felt 2013 was a great year, and then we followed it up with some bullshit, some mismatches, some fights that were supposed to happen, like James Kirkland versus Gabe Rosado, Kirkland versus Canelo, Kirkland versus Clottey, those types of fights that never materialized, and just it wasn't my best memory in boxing in the recent memory. So I hope it will be better, but ultimately I don't think it could really get worse. We had a lot of disappointments in my eyes. Like I was just looking back at some of the fights and the highlight reels, and they didn't really move me. There were some good fights. I thought Crawford Gamboa, Guerrero Kamagai, Lucas Matisse, John Molina. I thought all those were good fights, but in the grand scheme of things, 365 days in a year, it just wasn't all that phenomenal to me. Next question is actually two from M. Garcia. Do you think Canelo should change trainers? Yes, I've said that for a while. I think Canelo's just a loyal person. He's kind of the people he came up with, Chepo and all them, the Reynosos. He's kind of showing loyalty, and that's cool to continue having him on your team. I just think there's other trainers out there for his style, for his age, where you can get in there with a guy with that you can help mold. I don't think Canelo he's not like a Randall Bailey, if you will. Randall Bailey he's kind of old. He is who he is. I think Canelo, even though he's in his 20s, there's still things you can improve and perfect. Even like a Robert Garcia, Joel Diaz, those guys, anybody like that, I think they can work with him and get through to him and kind of help strengthen certain aspects of his game. He's already a good fighter with potential, but I definitely think there's, like, if you watch the Mayweather fight versus Canelo, I didn't hear any kind of like phenomenal advice from Canelo's trainer, and he was drastically getting behind. And I don't know whose game plan it was to try to outbox a masterclass boxer like Mayweather instead of using your size as an advantage, but that was horrible. That was like some of the dumbest advice. That's like me being taller than Rigondeaux in his division, and I'm trying to fight a technical fight. It's just stupid. Why, if I'm much bigger than him and I give up my height, it's just that's a piss poor game plan in my opinion. So I think he should change trainers, and he might have some better results, some matches that aren't so controversial. The Trout, the Lara fights, he might have more decisive wins. Next question from him is, where's Robert Guerrero? I think after the Mayweather fight, he took some time off. He had that lawsuit that's still pending litigation with Golden Boy. I think he got a nice payday in the Mayweather fight, close to $3 million, right around there. And he does a lot of stuff with charities. His wife had cancer, so he does a lot of stuff with charity. He's part of the Reebok team, so he does some promotional things with them. He makes appearances at church. Just a lot of charity work. His kids are in sports, so him being a father. So I think he just kind of living the family life and just chilling. Plus his eye in his last fight versus the Kama guy was pretty bad. So I think he just decided to take some time off after the Mayweather fight. And then after a brutal fight of the year type fight with Kama guy, he just took it easy. But from what I am hearing, his next opponent is not going to be a Kama guy type. It's going to be a named opponent where everybody that follows boxing knows, and it'll be a good, it won't be a Kama guy level, like a guy we just don't know. From what I'm hearing, it's going to be pretty good. It's not finalized, but it's going to be a good name and something to be excited about. So Robert Guerrero should be back shortly. Last question is from David. He says, Ego, do you think that fighters of today would be successful fighting 15 rounds like the old days? In your opinion, how would 15 rounds impact the sport as a whole? The impact would probably be bad because back in the day, there was a lot of tough motherfuckers. There's a lot of dudes that are just tough son of a bitches. And I think boxing at the moment kind of lacks heart by and large. There's still some guys that show it, but not on the same scale. Not as the, you know what I mean, the Frazier's and Ali and Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta's, you know what I mean? Like Jake LaMotta used to get battered and still win a fight. What's his name? Rocky Marciano, same thing. He had a split nose in his fight, and he still fought, and he got the split nose early in the fight, still fought like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know motherfuckers. They have like a pinch in their back, or they got a cut and then they want to cry about it and shit like that. So for the most part, I don't really see the same durability with some of the fighters. Like these guys back in the day, they fought because that's the only thing they were good at. There was segregation in some situations, so they fought for almost a different cause. They weren't getting these types of paychecks. So I think the game is getting a little bit more sissified, and a lot of guys wouldn't do good, and a lot of guys don't have the Muhammad Ali type finesse or the Mike Tyson just killer, and you can't stand up to him and his power and that type of demeanor. So I really don't see like a Brandon Rios or Mike Alvarado. Them dudes will later on in life will probably be really hurting if they continue the 15 rounds. I think it would be bad for health reasons for a lot of guys, because some guys don't even practice the sweet science anymore. It's just like, and that's kind of what the fans want. A lot of times the fans, they'll say, "Oh, this person's boring," because they do use defense and they do use the sweet science. Nowadays, it's running if you do those types of things or if you do it too much. So some fighters probably feel more compelled, even like the Robert Guerrero. He was actually a better technical boxer than what I've seen recently from him. Right now, he's kind of like fighting on some like baby nuts, machismo type stuff. So that's kind of where the game is, in my opinion. So 15 rounds, ultimately, I don't think would be great for a lot of people, just based off the lack of heart in some cases and just the lack of toughness. And I don't even know, you know what I mean? You got guys like Broner who are massively gaining weight and stuff like that. And I don't even know if these dudes are conditioned to go 15 rounds. You know what I mean? I know Mayweather for a fact. He would probably be okay in that era because, I mean, he doesn't even look tired. He's not breathing like overly hard or anything like that. But most guys, I don't think would do well with the 15 round model. Let me know what you guys think of this week's Mailbox Monday. Drop me a comment and I'll see you guys next week. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.